hard work underneath something. Okay, everything's good. I kind of put a little super grease, super lube in here. It's supposed to not really interfere with transmission stuff. Now this size, it's like, man, it should be the right size. I measured it, and it's only about 50 thousandths tighter here. So I think it's supposed to be tight though. So before I do this, I'm just gonna put a piece of tape on this. I don't want anything rubbing it. If I can help it. In fact, let me grab a towel. Let's see what we got here. There's a tendency you want to put a little lube in here, but I think they want you to do a sealer. So I'm going to do some of this Teflon thread sealant. There's different types out there. It's a little separated. I need to swirl around. It's going to be so tight it shouldn't even leak, but doesn't hurt to have a little sealant on there. It's probably gooier than I wanted. I should have mixed it a little bit better, but maybe I'll do that. I don't know if I'm gonna cord this whole thing or just cut it to where I'm actually driving it in. There's a right way to do this and a wrong way. There's I mean, I do pump seals on pumps that cost a lot of money, and you got to drive these lip seals on. I'm gonna need that a little bit better. So the pump seals, you got to really drive them on good, because they have shafts, seals, or the shafts, I'm sorry, are supposed to seal. It's a rotating element. This didn't do much better. I'm just too low. I'll just do the best part of it towards the bottom. Yeah, that'll work. That's actually better. That did help. So I'm going to find one that's big enough to go over the whole thing. That's my plan. And do the best part of the seal. Like that. It's kind of hard to... I should have welded that. You don't want to hit that shaft, so this goes over that shaft. Let's see if I can get it started like this. Maybe, maybe not. It seems like it's too tight to me. The shaft seal is not the right one, which is possible. I think it's gonna work.
I pulled them out so you can look at them.
Alright, thanks. I'll check. Yeah, run it. Shit. I think it's too tight. So, at this point, I don't want to go any further. This is too tight. So, let's see if I can... Yeah, that is definitely too tight. Figure out what the next size down is. Alright. Let me turn this camera off and I will go find a different one. Alright, well, if you're just tuning in, this is the 9449 rear shaft output seal for the 4L80E. This is a 2002, I believe, model. And the yoke, the ID of this is 1.887. The OD is 2.700, and it's a 582 thousandths thick, probably from here to here. Anyways, I just tried to do one a minute ago in the video. It kind of screwed it up. I took it back to the place, and they were stumped too. They didn't really know why it didn't work. But anyway, so we got to looking in the box, and it was the wrong one. They had it. The box was correct, but the seal that was in there was incorrect. And so they went ahead and just gave me another one. And I'm just glad it wasn't me, that screwed up. Because, I mean, I've done thousands of these seals. So it's, I don't know, thousands, but hundreds anyways, on working in the manufacturing plants. I'm going to put some stuff in here, just to kind of wet it up a little bit. This grease should be fairly compatible with transmission fluid. But it's not really supposed to wash it out. It's just kind of keep it moist. As it gets warm, it'll kind of help keep it going. They say you should really use transmission packing lube, but I don't have any. So I think, or you can use transmission fluid. It'll wash it out, and I don't believe it'll hurt it any. Some people, got their different methods, but for what I'm doing, it should work fine. Anyways, let's see how it feels on there. So that feels better. That feels more like what it should feel like. And so before, it wasn't even close, but I thought, well, maybe it's just going to shrink that much. I've never seen a seal shrink that much, but I thought, well, I'll just try it, and it didn't. It didn't shrink at all. I mean, that thing was horrible. It just mangled it. If you've already seen part of this video, I don't know if I'll get it put up. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this thread sealer on here. Just kind of keep the transmission fluid from leaking out. If these bosses get out around, that's possible you can have that kind of problem. So I'm going to put the thicker part on the bottom there. Like that. Got it kind of set in place. And I have some washers. Maybe that'll work like that. Just kind of put a pipe over it. Oh, not too hard. Just enough to I'll drive it on there as even as possible. So I'm already kind of off on the bottom part here. Maybe I'll do this. Yep. It's easy to lose it. And what you don't want to do is hit on this part. You have to be very careful. There, it didn't seem like I popped in. Didn't look like I did anything wrong, so we put that on there. So, piece of pipe here. I'm not going to put too much of a whack into it, but I will try to get this. That's about there. I think we're good. I did it. That's sealed all the way up around it. That's how you want it. Anyways, get all this stuff out of here. So that's how I do it. I got a big washer, just go over it. Doesn't look like I did anything. So now you want to kind of inspect, make sure it didn't deform it. If you get one side in too far, before you get it to start it on the other edges, it will mess it up. Just a little right here. And see if against the bottom there. That should do it. That looks like it's it. Sometimes it'll have its own distinct ring to it when it's seated. It feels like it's good. Still feel a little lip up at the top. And it may be that's as good as it's going to get. Yeah, it feels more solid. I'm just kind of feeling the lip. I believe that's good. Alright, we're good. So that's how I did it. Sometimes you can put that over that washer. I don't have an actual seal driver, so that's all I was going to do is just drive it like that. But you know, ideally you'd want it to kind of go a little bit further on the OD. Otherwise, this is a thick washer. You don't have to worry about it. I can bend it in. So that's that. Now it's what's next is to lube up the output, the yoke that goes in there. I'll lube it up, slide it in, and then that part's done. There's a little play, but that's normal. So once I get the yoke put in, I'll go ahead and do the carrier bearing. I got everything ready to go. So let me turn it over here. So then we do the carrier bearing, and then the carrier bearing goes to the rear end out there. So that's that. And there are a lot of videos on doing this. This is a 4L80E. Matching up that seal was kind of a booger. There's a lot of different seals. Some have a boot on them, some don't. I'd watch enough YouTube videos to make sure I had the right one, and that's what I come up with. And that was the correct one. Double check the seal in the box, because I looked and it showed 50,000 is too big, and I should have questioned it more, because 50,000 is trying to press in a hole. I mean, you've seen how tight that was when it's the right size. That was pretty tight. So imagine 50,000 is bigger. That's what I just went through. So yeah, I had the wrong one that was in the correct box. Wrong seal. Anyways, this one here, when I took it back, they compared it, and they found out that what was in that box they originally sold me was the wrong seal in the box I needed, and so they got another box. We measured it up, and sure enough, I was correct. I was right. I thought, well, thank goodness, because I mean, my measurements were all right compared to what the size was on the box, but it was the wrong seals. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll keep trying to put more stuff on here. Thanks. Bye-bye.